Hey Matt, how are you?
Hey, good. Great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too. I've been looking you up on LinkedIn. You can share my screen. Show you what I see. There it is. So look, you look the same. That's you, right?
Yeah.
So I've been trying to figure out who are you and what you do, and I did figure it out a little, but because some people may be watching our chat, could you maybe introduce yourself and entrepreneur at home seems like you are from Utah, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Well, I appreciate the interview. Yeah. So I've been selling on Amazon since let's see, I started in back in 2014. Is that right? 2000, yeah, around 2014 or so. And I tried many different ways to sell on Amazon through FBA, which if you're not familiar, it stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. It's where we buy the products, we send it to Amazon's warehouse, and then they sell, and Amazon ships them to the customer on our behalf. But anyway, I experimented many different ways, failed at many different things. I tried private label, I tried wholesale, I tried liquidation. Finally, what we actually found that really worked for us, my wife and I are the ones who do it together, was a model called arbitrage. And arbitrage is just buying from retail stores and then reselling those products on Amazon at a higher cost. And so we've been able to do it, and we've been able to teach hundreds of people to do it. We have literally thousands of people in our Facebook group, and we have hundreds of students. And yeah, we've really enjoyed it because not only were we able to figure out for ourselves, we actually began to hire a team. So we had somebody who was buying products for us, somebody who was shipping the products into Amazon for us, and we got it down to about 10 hours in a month. Actually, that's our claim to fame. It's really super nice, you know.
So you're doing the retail arbitrage that is picking up physically, right? It's not the online arbitrage. Is that right?
Oh, so that's how we started, actually, was going physically out to the stores. Where I live, it's a rural area, so there's not a lot of, stores near where I live. So what I do is I go and take these big, long drives where I go and hit the retail stores. But what I found as far as economics and time, and the best way to do it is actually do it online. So we actually progressed into doing it online, just online stores, Walmart.com, Target.com, stores like that. And then we just have it shipped to our house, and then we ship it into Amazon's warehouse. Later, we actually figured out that we could just have it shipped to an employee of ours in Oregon, which is a tax-free state. So she was able to handle the products and then ship them into Amazon's warehouse for us.
Cool. So I guess this has grown, right? It's from little operation to bigger, bigger, bigger. But is it really scalable? Because I think that's what the main thing that detracts the newcomers to this niche, and especially that group of arbitraging on Amazon, is that it may not seem so scalable, easy scalable. There's a lot of human power involved, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say that, yeah, it is a beginner's method for sure. It is not designed to be a multi-million-dollar business. I don't see it that way. There are people, we have students who are doing six figures in a month from the arbitrage model, which is pretty good, sales-wise. When you equate that to profit, when you equate that to profit, yeah, you're looking at, between $10,000 and $20,000 a month in profit. So it is designed as a beginner method. But the nice part about it is the limited amount of risk that's involved. You don't have to place a big $10,000 order from China and, pray to God that it's going to work out okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, I run the software, shopkeeper software, and I see a lot of other sellers that are starting with the big order, their first product with the huge investment of shipping and manufacturing and all of this, and it just sits there, and later the storage fees come in and it just drips. So totally I would advocate this method as for a beginner who wants to avoid the big cash flow management issues, and you learn slowly, indefinitely. Let me show you something else that I found about you. Just a second. There we are. So I also see that you are running a group, right? So that's for online arbitragers?
Yes.
Let me join that one. So which page I will join with? This one. There we go. Oh, look. To access the training, read the pinned post. Do you understand? Yes. You understand that there's no self-promotion? Yes, I promise. All right, then I'm gonna be in, right?
Oh, welcome. Awesome.
Okay, so how many people do you have right now?
Like inside our free group there that you just joined?
Yeah, how many members are
Yeah,
there?
so it's about 12,000.
Oh, that's a very significant number. So everyone who joined the group, are there beginners interested in arbitrage, or they're actual arbitragers already doing it? Like, who are they?
We get a mix of both. Yeah, we get a mix of both.
So is there someone to answer my questions? Basically, that's the question.
So yeah, in our free group, it's it's limited support, but there's support from folks who are experienced as well that like to chime in and jump in, just like any kind of Facebook group. In our paid group, that's where you get more, support from myself and Sherry and our advanced students. So it's a good resource, though. I mean, inside that free group, we have free trainings. You go in the files section, you'll find free trainings in there. You get access to, we have what's called a mini course, which is like a beginner's course. So there's a lot of resources just for free inside that group.
Okay, definitely will be checking it out. And I saw that you have the whole 4,000 equal numbers of subscribers.
Yeah, I just hit 4,000, yeah.
I just caught you a significant milestone right here.
Yeah.
So it seems like you and your wife are equal partners in this, right? So what's her part in the business? I'm curious because I'm a woman,
Yeah, so actually Sherry is used to be much more hands-on with the business. I've kind of taken over that role, so she's gone and done something else. But when we were first getting started with it, she was basically the one who was managed the employees. She's really good at hiring folks. She would deal with all of the account, back office account things. As an arbitrage seller, you run into things like IP complaints, stuff like that. She'd handle that kind of thing. That was kind of like her main job. And what I would do is mainly like sourcing until we outsourced it, and then somebody else took care of the sourcing. So once we got into doing the Amazon business, that's when we got into coaching and training folks, and that's mainly what we do now.
So I have a question for you right there. You know how on arbitrage now it's so many restrictions with the brands on Amazon not allowing you to sell on that listing. So do you use like special tools to figure out which ones do allow it, like before you even purchase? Like what's your process for that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So what you want to do, obviously, you use the Amazon Seller app, right? That's the best tool to know, and you just get it on your phone, and that's the best tool to know whether you can sell products or not. And then you're just going to click that request approval button, and sometimes you're going to get approved, and other times you're not going to. And often what it's going to ask for is a invoice from the manufacturer distributor, and then a letter from the manufacturer distributor that says that you can sell, basically, and you can submit that paperwork. So a lot of people will say, oh, this is, they get deterred by this and say, oh man, this sucks, I can't sell those items. And you are going to come across that for sure. But what we found is actually, if you can contact the manufacturer and distributor for a lot of these companies, you can actually find the loopholes. You actually can get through and get approval, get exactly the paperwork that you need. And what that allows you to do actually is sell into product categories and products that are generally not open to a lot of sellers, which means the competition is reduced and you can sell those at a higher profit. So you do run into that. Also, you're going to run into products that you just can't, you're restricted. There's nothing you can do. You just move on. And there's every single day on Amazon, hundreds of thousands of SKUs are being added every single day. So there's just no limit to, just keeps more products being added every single day.
So you're saying there's still a lot, right, to sell without being restricted too much on it?
Yeah, for sure. And beyond that too, when you start getting into a product, you can find opportunities to bundle, where say you could find this tea. Like, for example, one of our students was talking about, you can sell the chamomile tea and you can sell the sleepy time tea. And so we start creating bundle listings where we combine the sleepy tea and the chamomile tea into a brand new listing as well. So you kind of have to work with what you have and just expand from there, find the opportunities where you are.
Okay. So what topics are you an expert of? Because I see you have so many videos on your YouTube channel and many followers. So what type of, let me check, like what is your most popular video? Let's see. Let's sort by.
My most popular video is has to do with online arbitrage sourcing, where I actually show myself, yeah, that one right there.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's a little bit of intervention happening right here. There you go. Okay. So you're actually showing the steps on how you do it and what tool you use. Looks like Inventory Lab, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. All right. So have you yourself switched over to private label by now, or you are still an online arbitrager?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. So I actually have started my first private label actually should be arriving September 8th. It was a big deal though, a big order. I mean, it took a long time for it to get here. It's about $15,000 investment.
Wow.
And I started the process of it last November, just so you know.
Oh, I know all about it, especially when you order, then they ship you the sample, and then there's a change, another 2 months sample to wait. And again, and then they actually ship it and you decide, oh, I'll do it by sea because it's cheaper. 2 months to wait on that, and then something like Chinese New Year before that comes in, it just becomes like forever.
Exactly. So I do recommend that folks get into private label eventually, for sure. But you know, my thinking is the biggest thing that people need when they're starting to sell on Amazon is they need confidence. So they need to start seeing sales immediately. They need to start seeing results immediately. A lot of people can't deal with that delayed gratification of waiting 6 months, 8 months for their private label to finally arrive. And dear God, I sure hope it is profitable and it works.
That's right. And it really helps. The way I would put it is that if you try arbitrage first, you will learn all the ropes ins and out. You will not be so, scared and confused with the Seller Central anymore, because you'll be so used to it. It's just another thing, another listing, and that's it. Yeah. So it's going to be less scary. When you do online arbitrage, do you source at any time from something like AliExpress that is far away to ship, or you only do?
No, so we only deal with retailers. So we're only buying from retailers.
Okay, so locally in United States. Well, I mean,
yes.
Locally, like the Walmarts, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, and there's a reason that we do it that way, because we're, with Amazon, with the way that they're set up, we want to make sure that we have proof of purchase. See, I used to do like liquidation, for example, and if Amazon comes down on you and they say, hey, where's the receipt? Where's the proof that you bought this in new condition? The only thing that you'll have is a manifest. See, and that's in Amazon's world, that's not proof that it's a new condition. And so, we found that arbitrage, not only is it's pretty safe as far as risk goes, as far as, you're only buying small amounts, but also it's pretty limited risk, because you can actually provide a receipt that you actually got it from a store. Now, that's not the same as a receipt from a distributor or a manufacturer, but we've seen many times Amazon's might run like a account suspension or something like that, but people are able to get their accounts back by showing receipts. In Amazon's eyes, that's good, as long as it's a receipt from within a U.S. store.
You guys, the arbitragers, you have to deal a lot with the buy box, fighting for the buy box, right? Which labelers don't have. So how do you deal with that when you're a new seller? There's 27 other sellers on the listing. What advice can you give for that?
Yeah, great question. So you definitely run across that for sure. So the strategy is basically what's going to happen is you're going to buy 10 different SKUs, right? 5 of those you're going to probably end up breaking even on, or maybe even losing a little bit of money on. The other 5 you're going to do great on, and what you're going to find on those 5 is the items that you can replenish over and over again. Those are the ones that work out really well. So what you do slowly is you build your model towards buying everything to continuing to buy new products, but mainly buying replenishable items. And that's where you find your profit margins. Obviously, like I talked about earlier, buying in categories where you're gated, where you have to go through an extra step in order to sell that product, that's very good, because not a lot of new sellers are able to do that. And often it's the new sellers that are tanking the price. And so, for example, if you find an item that has, it's only selling 30 units per month and there's 27 FBA sellers on there. What we use is a tool called a repricer. So what it's going to do is it's going to continue to bring the price down to the buy box price. And since you're only buying very shallow, inventory, maybe only buy 2 or 3 of that unit anyway. So you might end up selling one at a good profit, one at a break-even profit, and then one you might end up losing money on. So overall, the strategy works. Our students are usually running about a 20% profit margin. But it's from constantly, you constantly find new products, and you're constantly finding, the new opportunities, and you're kind of testing the waters with the new products. And a lot of them are not going to do that great, but a lot of them are. And you try to replenish and get more of the products that are doing well. And also you can go back, once you find some products that are do really well, you can actually go to the distributor or manufacturer and see if you can get a discounted rate or a wholesale rate for buying more of that product. We had a student do that as well, where he was able to work out a deal with a wholesaler and run extremely well profit margins just by going deep into that one product.
You mentioned replenishables. I am very curious. Could you give us examples of those replenishables? You said that that's the best type of product to be looking for to buy, right? What it is, what that means? Yeah.
So say, for example, one of our replenishable items would be a soap package bundle. What we found was we could get it for, say, $7, the bundle, right? $3.50 and $3.50 and put it together. And it was selling on Amazon for around $21. So after all is said and done, you walk away with about $6 profit on that type of a product. So that's kind of that's an example. I don't know if is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I have another question for you. So, I've been writing this article, I'm still in process of, called 100 Ways to Promote Your E-commerce Business and Your Products. But that sort of applies more to private labelers, when you have your own. So is there anything at all that arbitrageurs are doing to promote or help their sales? Like anything at all?
Yeah, great question. So, the great thing about arbitrage is that we're relying basically on Amazon traffic and Amazon demand and the brand awareness. And that's how we're selling. Everybody knows Nike, right? Everybody wants the Nike Air Jordan shoe, or they know about it, right? So those who want to buy it, just buy it. All you have to do is just be competitively priced so that, you're at the right place at the right time so you can sell it. One thing you can do, obviously, is what's called Amazon PPC, which stands for pay-per-click advertising. It's actually pretty inexpensive. We set up our campaigns like 5 cents to 25 cents, and we just lump like a bunch of listings all together into one, so that I don't know, it just works. The return on ad spend that we've seen from doing it that way. It is profitable to do it that way. So that is one thing that you can do, is run some very inexpensive PPC, maybe $3 or $4 a day to help boost your listings.
I'm sorry to be unaware of how it works, but usually when I run PPC on my private label product, everything is clear. But when you have multiple people on the same buy box and you're promoting a certain listing, aren't you promoting the competitors at the same time?
No, because the only time that your ad is being seen is when you win the buy box.
All right. Okay. And if you don't win, then your ad is not being seen, right?
It's not being spent. Exactly.
That's very interesting. Okay. What about refunds? Is there any difference in how arbitrageurs have the refunds and how we private labelers do?
Yeah, you're going to run into refunds for sure. It's just part of the business. One thing that you want to be aware of is how many star reviews are on a product. If the product has 3 stars or less, we tend not to buy those products. That's a good indication that it's probably going to get, more returns than your standard products. But it's part of the business, and it's part of the, the overall model. We find a lot of stuff that we, end up using for our house that, gets returned, or you can just donate that stuff, give it to our employees,
That's right.
Yeah, it's just part of the game for sure.
just a few little extras of the world of Amazon. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, I've looked up this resell for profits right here, and I see there's something free here. So you basically have a course, is that right? That is this. So how is this different from the course? Is this something free that I get and I don't have to pay?
Yeah. So it's designed to, get folks interested in the idea of selling on Amazon. A lot of folks aren't necessarily ready to buy a course. They want to kind of know maybe a little bit about us and a little bit about what's included in our course. And, one of the best ways to do that, as you may or may not know, is to give away something for free. So we have a free training video that just walks through like 4 steps, to get to $30,000 a month on Amazon. What do you need to do, and how much product do you need to buy, that sort of thing.
Cool. So where are you guys standing here? You're speakers at some event, looks like.
Yeah, we went to we were speakers at the Summit event back in 2016, Seller Summit event.
Oh,
so we
right.
use that photo. It's, it's a good photo. It shows authority, you could say, right?
So do you plan to going to any further events this year?
Actually, it's funny you just asked that. I was just trying to get my wife to go to as an attendee of the, I don't know if you heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza.
No.
Oh, okay.
Is that Amazon related though?
Yeah. No. It's more mindset related type stuff.
It's still very interesting.
Yeah. Because, I found over and over again, like I've had a lot of students, right? And the biggest thing that separates the results is how the student thinks and their mindset and their beliefs and, their self-image, that type of thing. So, the more you invest into yourself, I find that that person is more likely to succeed because they understand that the biggest asset that we have in any business is our mind, right? So we do a lot of investing in ourselves, for sure.
Do you feel personally that you have advanced a lot in terms of your own mindset as an entrepreneur? Because you said you started in 2014, or was it someone else who said it?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
yeah, that's how we started on Amazon. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I used to be a pizza delivery guy. My wife was a file clerk. That's what we used to do, and back then to make, $100 a day was a big deal. And it was almost like there was no way. And like, we thought it was going to be a lot of work. And, we have days now we make thousands of dollars in a day. And it's, it's definitely been an effect of our mindset and our expectations and our beliefs and developing our skill sets. And I'm sure you probably had the same experience, right?
Yeah, it's been going over the years, like so many changes, I've become like a different person, working online for so many years now, and there's been many businesses. It's like usually online business, something goes on the wave and then slowly plateaus, and then something else. So there's been Google Panda slaps that kicked me out of something, and then all these things. I became Amazon seller, and then like you're saying, arbitrager, you start with that, you move on to private label. From that, you may move on to, a software for Amazon sellers like I did or something like that. So there's always some kind of progress and mindset changes with that. And
yeah, for sure.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So as a last question before I let you go, just because you mentioned mindset, can I ask you something in that area, in that topic? So how does entrepreneur balances well the life and work? You are lucky because you work with a partner. Your wife is like, you guys work together. It's all balanced right there, the whole day together. But what about the other people who are trying to still keep a 9-to-5 job and do the arbitrage on the side, and plus they have a wife and kids? How do you think that goes about? Like, what would you suggest?
Okay, great question. So I'll just say, for me, I had a strong desire to achieve more, to become more, and that drove me. And so I started to look at, what is it that people are actually doing that are having them achieve the results that I wanted? Because I was a pizza delivery driver. I didn't want to do that forever, but I began to look at people who were having the results that I want to have, the lifestyle I wanted. And I began to ask the question, what is it that they're actually doing that's different than me? And, you're not going to get there overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. But I think that I think one of the big things is setting goals, right? If you have a goal, keep moving forward towards it, having a desire, something bigger that you want. It all just kind of comes together, if you can just keep moving forward and never giving up, right? And, a big part of it is the relationships that you build, talking to folks, learning new things. You just keep taking one step in front of the other, asking yourself, okay, what's the next thing I could do? What's something else that I could do that I'm not already putting in place? And, what is it that Gary Vee is doing, or what is it that Tony Robbins is doing, or, somebody that you admire, Oprah, what is she doing? And just look at their morning habits, their daily habits, their attitudes, their approaches to things. How is it different than my approach to things? And I think there's just a wealth of information out there. And I think if you really have a desire to better yourself, you'll seek out the information, you'll seek out the teachers, you'll seek out the people that can help you get to the next level. And I think all of us are on we're like on this escalator, right? And there's always somebody who's at a level above where we are. And, for some of us, there's people who are at a level that are where we used to be. And so we have the opportunity now in the information age, we can reach out to the people who have what we want, and we can also reach out to the people who are where we used to be, and find our happy balance in our medium. And I don't know if that answers the question, but you probably had a similar experience, right? I mean, it's just to be where you are today, you didn't just wake up that where you are. I mean, what's your story like? Where did you start?
So basically, I went to university for software development, and I was lucky because everyone in my class was an entrepreneur to be. Basically, the Shopify guys, the guys who created Shopify were in my class. I studied in Ottawa in Canada. And then, so from that spun off other companies which were later acquired by Shopify. Like, there's this whole world of startups around me that was there. And then, I was just this girl sitting there with my Sony Vaio Windows laptop, and I look around in my class and they're like, nobody else is using a Windows laptop, like, okay, I gotta do this. So in the beginning, I was just copying what other people are doing. That's how it went. I didn't know nothing. I had no feeling. Now I have a feeling, this is gonna work, this is not gonna work, right? But then I just, everybody has a MacBook. Okay, I'm going to learn how to use the MacBook, got it. And then in the business, weren't the same way, everybody is doing this affiliate marketing something, okay, I'm going to try doing that. And, in the beginning of I'm in software business now. And when you start a software business, you start Googling around, they all say you have to get funded, get venture capital funds, and go to an, accelerator and all these things. And you get brainwashed with that idea that that's the only way to go. But actually, that's the worst way to go, You're going to have to grow as fast as possible if you don't kill your company, And bootstrap, what I'm doing, from scratch myself, it's the way to go. And then you get those feelings. Once you keep trying those things that you copy from others, you get more and more feel what's going to work, what's not. And now I feel so much more confident on whatever I do, I have this basis. So it's like building blocks on top of each other. And I feel that's what you just explained, you start somewhere and then eventually you will end up there. You just have to have a strong feeling that you want to do it. Like, I loved this journey and I'm still so excited every day, about it when I'm in it. You just open the laptop and the magic happens from nothing. I create it, it's just, that's the whole life.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I'm very happy to meet you today.
Yeah, same.
You seem like an amazing expert of arbitrage. So I totally recommend anyone who's watching to check it out. So just to confirm, the website to go to is resellforprofits.com. And there's free training right here. Yeah. So we didn't meet here today to promote this course so much. It's more like I wanted to chat who you are and what you do. But for those who are interested, you see yourselves that Matt is quite an expert in this, and I would press him on this. All right.
Well, thank you so much, Paulina. It was great talking with you and meeting with you. It was a real pleasure.
Same here. Take care.
All right, take care.